A half-ton shark leaped out of the water and swallowed a young girl whole. The Grand Triathlon turned into a slaughterhouse for sharks, and all of Paris became a playground for sharks. It turns out that people have gone mad, willingly becoming dinner for sharks. A scientific research team was ordered to conduct an ecological survey in the North Atlantic, but upon arrival, they found the entire sea area littered with garbage, covering an astonishing area of 3 million square kilometers, equivalent to 4 times the land area of France. Hundreds of thousands of marine mammals died in this pollution. Sophia led the team here to figure out whether such a harsh environment would affect the survival of sharks. However, when 4 team members went underwater for inspection, they found that the shark they had tagged as number 7, Lilith, was not only alive and well but had grown from 2.5 meters to an astonishing 7 meters in just a few weeks. This shocked everyone, and they speculated that Lilith must have mutated. To verify this speculation, Sophia ordered the team to implant another beacon on it so they could observe its physical changes at all times. However, one of the team members did not control their strength well and hurt Lilith. In an instant, Lilith disappeared from everyone's sight. The team members didn't take this matter to heart, but soon after, Sophia heard the screams of teammates through her headset. In a blink of an eye, the 4 underwater became Lilith's food. When Sophia dived into the water to rescue them, she only saw a severed arm. Shocked, Sophia quickly surfaced to catch her breath, but when she dived again, she was met with Lilith's endless rage. In desperation, Sophia shot at it, but this only incited Lilith's anger even more. It bit onto a fishing net and dragged Sophia towards the deep sea. The immense water pressure caused her ears to bleed, and just before fainting, she managed to untangle the fishing net wrapped around her ankle and survived by luck. After Sophia surfaced, fresh blood kept gushing out of her mouth. This accident had left her body traumatized, and the deaths of her teammates had caused her to blame herself greatly. 3 years later, Sophia quit her job in marine research to become a teacher, intending to stay away from this heartbreaking career. However, one day after school, a girl named Mia stopped her, saying she wanted to discuss some marine knowledge with her. Seeing the girl's sincerity, Sophia followed Mia to her studio with some doubts. Upon seeing the sharks swimming on the large screen, she immediately realized Mia had another purpose for inviting her. It turned out that not long ago, Mia and her team had captured Lilith's beacon in the ocean and discovered that Lilith had left the ocean and was heading towards the Seine. It wouldn't be long before it appeared in the center of Paris, but as long as its location was confirmed, they could use the sonar system to lure it back to the ocean. Sophia found the idea absurd. Especially since her team's server was very secure, and Mia couldn't possibly have cracked their beacon. After an argument, Sophia left angrily, but when she got home and turned on her computer, she was stunned to see that Lilith was indeed in the Seine River basin, slowly approaching the center of Paris. Meanwhile, Mia had already taken her companions to the location of the signal, wanting to verify Lilith's presence herself. After learning about this, Sophia urgently called to dissuade her, knowing Lilith's aggressiveness, but Mia wouldn't listen, so Sophia had no choice but to head to the scene with a locator. By the time Mia had already donned her gear and dived into the water, she saw a shocking scene at the bottom. A damaged car lay at the riverbed, but the driver was nowhere to be found, and there were huge bite marks on the car door. At that moment, a companion left on the boat noticed a patrol boat nearby and immediately pulled the rope to signal Mia to come up. But Mia hadn't yet found Lilith's trace and was unwilling to return without achieving anything. She decided to untie the rope around her waist and continue the investigation. Only when she saw a huge figure pass by did she confirm that Lilith was there. Although she completed the survey without any harm, she was greeted by the waiting patrol police when she surfaced. Sophia, who arrived late on the bridge, breathed a sigh of relief when she saw Mia being taken away by the patrol police. But the next day, the police retrieved a male body from the riverbank, the driver who had disappeared at the riverbed the night before, and his body was only half intact. From the bite marks, Sophia was sure it was the work of a shark. She immediately notified the police, but no one believed that a bloodthirsty shark would appear in a freshwater river. Sophia insisted on her judgment, and the chief of police reluctantly sent a few officers to check the water with Sophia. At first, these officers didn't believe in the existence of the shark, until they saw a 2-meter-long freshwater fish with huge bite marks on it, which shocked them. However, Mia, who had secretly followed, was afraid that the police would harm Lilith, so she called her office companion to cut off the shark's beacon. Soon, Sophia realized something was wrong when the locator lost Lilith's signal, and before it disappeared, it was only 100 meters away from the 3 officers. They quickly pulled the rope to alert their teammates below of the danger. The 3 of them surfaced unharmed, but Officer Leo blamed Sophia for the mistake, putting his teammates in danger. Sophia felt very wronged, as all her operations were compliant and without any errors. The two had a heated argument until Leo saw blood coming from Sophia's nose and finally stopped. At that time, he didn't know that an accident 3 years ago had left Sophia with sequelae. After Sophia returned to the shore, she found Mia lurking nearby and realized she was the one causing trouble. She chased Mia to her studio and confronted her about why she did it. But Mia accused Sophia of bringing the police underwater, posing a threat to Lilith.
Tu sais très bien, les requins, ça attaque pas, c'est ta faute.
Sophia felt hopeless about this girl and left the place helplessly. After seeing Sophia's nosebleed, Leo looked up Sophia's profile online and learned that her team members had all been killed by sharks. As a retired soldier, Leo had witnessed his comrades fall beside him and understood Sophia's pain. So, he found Sophia, sincerely apologized, and invited her to join his team. The chief of police took this incident very seriously, so a special task force was formed, and they planned to report the shark incident to the mayor in the afternoon. Seeing his sincerity, Sophia agreed to join, but to their surprise, the mayor was indifferent after hearing the report. She was more concerned about the triathlon taking place next week. The event cost $1.7 billion, and a high-standard sports stadium was even built along the same river. The place would be filled with athletes and tourists from all over the world, and nothing could interfere with the event proceeding as planned, as it concerned her political achievements. Seeing this, the chief of police could only leave angrily, planning to solve the shark problem on their own. However, an unexpected change occurred when Mia, in order to protect the shark, made a speech on the media advocating for the protection of sharks.
Pourtant, 100 millions de requins sont massacrés chaque année. Arrêtez ce génocide. C'est ce qui arrive à Lilith. Elle s'est perdue dans la Seine, alors j'ai besoin de vous pour la sauver.
Seeing the photos of sharks slaughtered by humans, many citizens were deeply moved and became Mia's loyal followers. One day, Mia's companions suddenly found Sophia, asking for their help to stop Mia. It turned out that after discovering that sharks had entered Paris's underground reservoir, Mia planned to go there and use sonar to lure Lilith back to the ocean, shocking everyone with her crazy plan. At that moment, hundreds of followers followed Mia to the reservoir, ready to witness this astonishing feat. Little did they know it was about to become a slaughterhouse for sharks. When Sophia arrived with the police, Mia had already dived into the water with the sonar device. Sophia loudly warned her of the danger, but she was ignored. Soon, a shark circled around Mia, but it was not Lilith, but a shark pup. Seeing this, Sophia warned Mia again to leave, as Lilith might attack her to protect her child.
Mais ouvre les yeux, putain. Ils sont inoffensifs.
Sure enough, the next moment, Lilith suddenly leaped out of the water and swallowed the disobedient woman as a snack. Seeing this, the crowd was shocked and began to flee in panic. Many people fell into the water or were pushed down, and the narrow space instantly turned into a hunting ground for sharks. Even an officer was pushed into the water while trying to save someone, and Leo had to pull out his gun and shoot at the shark, but it was to no avail. He could only watch helplessly as his teammate was dragged away by the shark, creating a very tragic scene. This incident resulted in 12 deaths, and the hospital was soon filled with a large number of injured people. Later, they found a shark pup's body in the reservoir, likely shot dead by Leo. Upon examining the body, Sophia found that the shark had undergone significant mutations to adapt to the freshwater environment. The Seine River's suitable temperature made it an excellent breeding ground for them. When Sophia cut open the shark's belly, she saw tens of thousands of pups spewing out. However, this phenomenon did not make sense, as the shark was only 2 months old and not yet at the reproductive maturity stage. Sophia guessed that Lilith's reproduction method had evolved into parthenogenesis.
C'est-à-dire qu'elle a pas besoin de mâle.
This meant it was no longer an ordinary gray reef shark but a new species. If these sharks were not eradicated, they would reproduce indefinitely and occupy all water bodies on Earth. The chief of police urgently reported the situation to the mayor, but when she heard about the number of deaths and the invasion of a new species, she didn't care much and even blamed the chief of police and others for negatively impacting her image among the citizens.
Vous imaginez la merde dans laquelle je suis là?
Sophia suggested immediately canceling the triathlon, but the mayor kicked her out of the office on the spot. To avoid causing panic, the mayor even lied on TV, telling the public there were no sharks and encouraging them to participate and watch the race without worry. With only 12 hours left before the race, a disheartened Leo was ready to give up. But Sophia reminded him that if Lilith was not dealt with, the race would turn into a massacre. Concerned for public safety, the entire police force sprang into action. They planned to use the sonar system to lure the sharks to the center of the reservoir and then set explosives to destroy all entrances and exits, trapping them inside. But when they lit a flare and looked towards the water surface, they saw tens of thousands of sharks swimming overhead. In just one day, Lilith had given birth to so many pups, and their growth rate was astonishing. Just as they had set up the sonar and explosives and were about to evacuate, the shark seemed to sense the danger and attacked one of the team members. In just a few seconds, he was torn to pieces. Meanwhile, on the riverbank, the triathlon was held as scheduled. The mayor confidently walked onto the podium and delivered an impassioned speech. Then, with a signal, thousands of athletes dived into the water, unaware that death was already swinging its scythe to claim lives. A kilometer away in the underground reservoir, another team member saw his teammate's tragic death and immediately activated the timed bomb. But as soon as he pressed the button, he was chewed into pieces by a shark. Leo wanted to go forward to save him, but Sophia timely pulled him back. However, it was already too late to escape, and the bomb's explosion nearly knocked the two unconscious. Seeing Sophia and Leo surface, the officers on the boat breathed a sigh of relief. After settling the injured Leo, Sophia, still worried, and returned underwater to check if the entrance had been completely destroyed. Seeing the entrance blocked by rubble, she finally relaxed. But the next moment, hope was shattered again. Although Lilith did not harm Sophia, its huge body and cold eyes were terrifying. After circling around Sophia, it swam towards the race site. But before enjoying a delicious feast, it decided to try an appetizer first. After falling into the water, the officer panicked, but before she could recover from the shock, she was swallowed by Lilith. Sophia hurried to rescue Leo, while another officer also became Lilith's meal. Sophia and Leo clumsily climbed onto the dinghy, only able to watch helplessly as Lilith swam towards the race site. However, a kilometer away at the race site, thousands of athletes were swimming fiercely forward to compete for the championship. They had no idea that Lilith had quietly arrived beneath them, eating away vigorously, one athlete at a time. Hearing the screams, the referee immediately realized something was wrong and prepared to flee on a dinghy. But the next second, Lilith flipped the dinghy over. Only when she saw someone fall into the water did the girl on the shore blow the whistle to warn people of the shark in the water. Hearing the whistle, the athletes stopped and looked around in confusion. More and more people noticed the anomaly and stopped the race. At that moment, Lilith suddenly launched an attack. Seeing this, the athletes immediately swam frantically towards the shore. Those who couldn't escape in time underwater would undoubtedly become Lilith's feast. The mayor was stunned by this scene. To save her position, she immediately ordered the army to shoot Lilith. But they underestimated the mutated shark's agility, and it swiftly avoided all bullets. Lilith swam towards the downstream of the Seine River, seemingly knowing that something there could destroy Paris. Thousands of World War II-era shells buried at the bottom of the river were lifted by its tail, one of which exploded on the spot, creating waves tens of meters high. However, this was just the beginning. The explosion triggered a chain reaction, causing waves to surge throughout the Seine River. The subsequent explosions brought a tsunami capable of destroying the entire city of Paris, swallowing those who were slow to escape. Leo did his best to protect Sophia, but the mayor wasn't so lucky. Before she could recover from the shock, she was swept away by the torrent. After everything calmed down, Sophia and Leo, protected by the protagonist's aura, survived. They climbed onto the roof of a building and looked out to see the entire city of Paris completely submerged. At that moment, a shark's dorsal fin slowly surfaced, followed by a second and a third. The largest one must be Lilith, who successfully occupied the city, which was about to become its hunting ground and breeding paradise.